Hello students, we are on Unit 12 making word graphics, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Here we go. In this unit you will turn ordinary text into a shape and style it. Exciting. So here we go. Lesson 1. In this lesson you'll type a word and change its shape. Ooh. Goal for the lesson, type a word and modify its shape. Okay, let's open GIMP. Do that with me right now. Let's do it. It says we're going to create a new file. So you're going to go File, New, and this is where you're going to find templates. Kind of talked about those in the last lesson. They want us to find a 640 by 480. So click on 640 by 480. There you go. Alrighty, and click OK. Choose a word. Now that you've chosen the image you'd like to use. Oh, I don't remember it saying that. Hold on. Sorry about that. There actually weren't any instructions about choosing an image. So let's go ahead and click Open. Find your image designed folder and your resources, and Unit 12 gives us a lovely sunset image, some clouds, some fireworks, a brick wall maybe, and some, I'm not sure if that's bubbles. I think I'll go with blue sky because I could use some blue skies in my life. And please do remember that you are not required to use that image. You can go to where creativecommons.org and you can find your own images, or this would be a great opportunity for you to find an image that you've taken yourself with your own camera. This would be a really fun time for you to get super individual and use your own photographs. So maybe I'm just gonna do ocean. See what, see what comes up for ocean. Oh, I like that. I might have to change this to whales now. So I might have to do a whale. Yep. I might have to get that Hawaiian vibe on. So this will work right here. Or maybe this one. Okay, so right click. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see, I can't remember if this works or not. I'm gonna go copy and I'm gonna see if this works. If you can go File, Create from Clipboard. Yep, you sure can. Perfect. So did you see what I did there? Super easy. You just right click on your image, copy it, right? And then figure out where your GIMP's at. And then you just go File, Create from your clipboard. Okay, perfect. So I've got my image. Hopefully you've got your image. Now, think of a word that you'd like to use to go along with your image. Once you've thought of a word, you're ready to continue. You can change your mind later. All right, so let's just go ahead, and you want to be thinking about contrast. So since I have a dark background, I need something that is going to pop out. If I use black, grabbing my text tool, and I'm just going to click right here, and if I type the word whale, you'll notice that it doesn't stand out very well, does it? I'm going to go ahead and just select my word. I guess I prefer to use this box right here. It works better for me, and I just, click the little upward arrow until I feel like that's the size that I want it. If I want to change the font, I can do that over here. Actually, I've run out of RAM. Let's save. You ready? File. Save as. Oh, where did I put that pesky image design folder? I'm going to save mine to the Unit 12, and remember to name with your first and last name always. And I'm just going to call this Unit 12 text, because that's essentially what we're doing, and I'm going to hit enter. So your first and last name, Unit 12 text. How about that? Now that I've got a little bit of RAM freed up, I should be able to click on this little text box over here under the tool options for the text tool, and I should be able to pick something that I like. Ooh, that's pretty. I know I can't see it right now. I'm also going to see if I can change the color, which looks like it could do over here or over here on the left, and I want my color to be white. So I'm just going to click on this white choice right there and then go okay. I'm going to click outside of it. Oh, see? Nothing happened. Isn't that awesome? Let me try changing the color over here. And nothing's happening because my RAM's run out. This is like the struggle is real. Okay, that's not changing to my current color. So I've got to get white as my current. So I ended up having to grab a hold of these little dudes and bring them now. It says my current color is white. I should have been able to click there. If you're doing this, you should be able to, but I'm having the impression that this is related to RAM. Because there we go. Now if I click outside of my box anywhere or on a different layer to get rid of the little outline, you can see whale. I can move that with my move tool. Okay, so whoops, look what I'm doing. I'm moving my image. That's frustrating. Hit Control Z. This is the deal that I have. Usually I'll end up, when I have something like this, I'll just click on it one time and use the arrows on my keyboard. I think if you hold down Shift and use your arrows, it makes it so that the increments of movement are higher. So put your image wherever you want. Whale. Ding. Okay, perfect. So that's done. Click Save. Transforming words. Before transforming words, make sure you're happy with the word, font type, and color. After you use transform tools such as scale and rotate to transform the shape of a word, you won't be able to edit the word anymore. Did you see that? It says if you transform them by using the scale over here, the scale tool, any of these transformation tools, apparently it says that you're not going to be able to edit the word after that. So if you transform a word and then want to change the font or text of the word, you can press Control Z to undo your transformation, and then you can delete the transformed word layer and start over. Sounds like a pain. So make sure that you get your color, font type, and the word that you want correct the first time before we start transforming. All right, just for fun then, you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna just make a copy of this. So I've got that layer, and I'm gonna go select all, I'm gonna go Control C to copy it, I'm gonna go Control V to paste it. It's a floating layer. I'm going to paste it onto a new layer. That way I can keep my original. That's a really smart thing to do, since you know that you're not gonna be able to go back to this again once you transform it. That's why it's awesome to make a duplicate. Or the other thing you could have done is you could have right-clicked on there and you could have duplicated the layer and had two of those. So what I can do is I'll just lock my first one and hide it, and I'll hide that one and lock it. And I'm just gonna work with my duplicate. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that because I don't need more than one. So I've got my duplicate, whale, I'm gonna call that whale duplicate. Okay, and so I'll work with my whale duplicate. I'm gonna hit my move tool and I'm just gonna click it one time and hold it and drag it. That works. Okay, I'm gonna set it over here. Now you can see my original and the duplicate over here. So let's grab your duplicate. You're going to transform it. So free up your RAM by saving. And here's your scale tool. So click on the scale tool, and you guys have used the scale tool before. You just click on the object you want to scale, grab the corners, and scale it. So this is fun because you can skew it if you want to, which I kind of like that. But the reason why it's allowing me to skew, remember, is because the width and the height are not linked, meaning that I can change the proportion of it. I'm going to go ahead and click scale there. One of the things that you're going to notice is that GIMP is a raster program. It's made of pixels. So I want to show you this right now. This is the reason why if you're ever making a design that has text with it, it is best to do that in a program like Inkscape, which is vector-based because it's mathematical and you can make it as big as you want, and this won't happen. Do you see how pixelated that is? Have you ever seen someone's business sign that they've printed out like on canvas, and you can see the actual pixels? That's because they provided their printer with a JPEG file and they used a program like this to create it. So remember, for text, really honestly, professionally, it's not best to use a program like GIMP or Adobe Photoshop. I mean, a lot of people do it, but as you can see, it does not look good. Now, let's look at our original whale. Yep, look at the pixels. It looks terrible. Okay, if you were printing that out on like your wedding invitations, you wouldn't want your wedding invitations to look like that, would you? No. All right, so that's my little tip on text. So I'm gonna get off of my zoom tool and get back to my move tool. All right, so now I've got whale super large, and I think I'll just go ahead and click on that again. I'm gonna scale it again, but I have to click save first. I have to make sure I'm in the right layer. Okay, file, save. It's not letting me click on it. Not sure why. Let's try rotate. There we go. It's let me rotate. Okay, so now I can go like that and rotate it. Okay, and let's see if I can move it. Not lose my picture. Control Z. Get on the right layer. Just click on it. Oh, I could have done it, but now it won't let me, so I'm gonna have to use my arrow keys. Hold down Shift so your arrows move nice. Kind of like that little effect. That's cute. So that's just an example. What I wanted to also show you, I'm gonna make another duplicate of this layer to work on. I'm gonna hide, well, no I won't. Okay, so this one's gonna be hidden. I'm gonna just click my move tools on and I'm gonna grab that. So that's my duplicate. You could see my original down here that I've got hidden. Okay, and I'm going to transform this one, even though it doesn't want me to. I'm not giving up. There it goes. Okay, but this time I'm gonna lock it. Okay, I wanna show you, if you lock that, that means the aspect ratio or the proportions are going to stay the same no matter how big you make it. It's not gonna be skewed. The proportions are gonna be exactly the same. Okay, proportional. All right, but if you are going for a fun effect where you can actually squeeze it and make it like tall and skinny, you'll have to unlock those. So I'm gonna click outside of that, click scale actually, and I actually like that. That's pretty fun. Grab your move tool, you can, whoops, Control Z, Control Z, you're on the wrong layer. I'm not on the wrong layer. Click on it and use your arrows if that happens. I know, that's so frustrating, huh? Hold down Shift so you can get bigger increments movement. There. And I've got my original, which I'm gonna get to my original layer and I'm gonna unlock that, and I've got my move tool and I'm just gonna click and drag that down here a little bit. So there, I've got my different texts. Fun times. Hope you're enjoying this. So practice using those different transformation tools. You can also do the shear tool and the perspective tool, and you can also flip things. Fun. So the shear tool lets you stretch the corners and edges of an image bounding box horizontally and vertically, and once you start shearing something, you'll need to finish that before you can shear it vertically and vice versa. This lets you have greater control when stretching an image or layer. The best way to understand what shearing is doing is just create a duplicate layer and try shearing something, okay? Just try those tools out. That's the best way to learn what they do. The curve bend filter is a distorts filter that lets you change the shape of an image by stretching the top and bottom edges. This lets you fine tune the curves. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I will just use one of the words that I already have up there. So I'm gonna try, hopefully it will let me, and apply this filter. So I'm going up to filters, distorts, curve bend. And it's gonna bring this, and look, it's got my word whale. And so it's just really just simply about grabbing, oh, you gotta click automatic preview, otherwise you can't see what you did. I'm gonna click save. Okay, let's see if that little dialog box is somewhere. Okay, let's try it again. Filters, distorts, curve bend, click your automatic preview. There you go. And then when you drag these, it'll kind of show you what's happening. So you can fool around with it and make it all wonky, however wonky you want it. All right, so that's fun. Yeah. I'm going with that. I'm just gonna click OK. Takes a minute for that to upload, and then, well, there it is. Okay, lesson 2, you're gonna add an image to a word. Add an image to a word. All right, so they want us to open the image you're working on. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it. So I've already got that image opened up right here. So if you don't have another image, just go ahead and do File, Open, yeah, and get an image open. Or you can do the Create from Clipboard. Okay, so we need to go back here and we need to copy and paste the image that you want to be inside of the Word on top. So what I think I will do is I'm going to use the cloud one instead. So I'm going to go to the cloud one and I'm going to go Select All to select the entire cloud image. You can see the marching ants on the edge, and then Control C to copy it. You're going to go back to your fun text document and you're just going to hit Control V to paste it. It's a floating selection. Just go ahead and you can right click and make it a new layer. It needs to be on top of your other layer. And what I'm noticing about mine is that it needs to probably move and be a little bigger. So I'm actually going to use the scale tool on mine to make sure that it actually fits across the whole window. So I'm going to go like that and click Scale. Perfect. And then you can name this, you know, like your text image. In the layers list, specific layers are represented by thumbnails, which are these little dudes right here. These are small images that look like the images on each layer. Thumbnails also show visual effects such as masks that have been added to layers. The Select by Color tool. The Select by Color tool will select parts of an image by color even if they're separated by other colors. The color the tool selects is based on the color that you click on the image. Okay, so this is super cool, so pay attention, okay? First, we need to select our word that we're going to be using. So we have to hide this cloud so that we can see it. So which one? I'm going to use my bigger word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that word layer and I'm going to try, I'm hoping this works. I'm going to use that Select by Color tool, and I'm hoping when I click on white, the whole word whale is selected, and it was. Hallelujah, it worked perfectly. Awesome. I'm going to click Save just to free up my RAM. Okay, then you're going to go ahead and make your text image layer visible again, and you can still see the selection. Okay, click on that layer. So your image that you're going to put into that text has to be selected, and right click on it and add a layer mask. Okay, and when you add that layer mask, you're going to click Selection and Add, and check it out. How sweet is that? How do you get rid of those marching ants? Do you remember? Select None. There we go. Okay, and then one other fun thing that you can do is I'm going to go back into my original white text and I'm going to grab my move tool and I'm just gonna click and use my arrows to move that text that was underneath it so that it kind of creates that cool drop shadow effect. Fun. You could exaggerate it even more and have it, you know, further down, but I kind of like it the way it's just creating a nice little white drop shadow. That's cool. All right, now go up to your text image layer and right click on that and duplicate. Where is it? Duplicate that layer, okay? Feather is a command that blurs the edges of a selection. The blur doesn't become visible until you move, cut, copy, or fill a selection. You can control how many pixels wide this blurring effect is. Feathering can be used to create a softer line between a layer and its mask. Okay, that was lesson 2. You added an image, you resized the image, you turned the word into a layer mask, and you moved the image to change the look of the word. I did not get a chance to get into 12.03. It is optional. If you would like to add more style, you can continue with 12.03. Otherwise, you can go ahead and you can delete that layer. I decided against using it. You can just go ahead and save. And then you also need to go File, Export As, and change ping to JPEG.jpg. slide it over so you can see what you're doing. Click export, get your image optimization box, show preview and image window, check there, see what your size is. Based on what image you chose will determine whether or not you're above or below 500 kilobytes. Increase your quality or decrease the quality so that you're just around 500 kilobytes, and then click export.